Australia Today. Every great city in the world is, in reality, two cities, under the sway of two separate rulers, hope and despair. It is with the city of shadows that this story is chiefly concerned. Under these dingy roofs are housed life's derelicts, criminals, misfits, drifters, and those who have never had a chance. Nature is no discriminator, and even into these squalid homes children are born. But these kiddies, just as innocent and lovable as those born into more harmonious surroundings, and with just as great a moral right to their share of the world's happiness, are, in the majority of cases, doomed from the outset. They start life's race with a handicap. It is the duty of the community to see that that handicap is lifted. A home in the slums, not the kind of place about which poems and songs are written, but a typical example of the conditions under which the less fortunate of us live our lives. This living wreck was once a child and could have been a man, but fate was against him. Fate nearly always is in the city of shadows. Maybe he tried. Maybe these two set out together like many another boy and girl to make life something full and good and courageous. For hope does sometimes stray for a moment even into such dim byways as these. But something went wrong. So many things can go wrong in this workaday world of ours. It may have been drink, a false step, gambling. It may have been the Depression, that deadly 5 years which annihilated hope and ambition in so many of us. Or maybe, like his son, he was born without a chance. Thus history repeats itself. Reared in squalor, with a drunken brute of a father and a broken, dispirited mother, what hope had this boy and the hundreds of others he represents, unless we cry halt to the menace of life in the slums? It is time for us to pause in our march onward, to pause and consider our failures as well as our achievements, and our failures are many. We have built, and in general built well. We have mastered the land, the sea, and the air. We have, to a great extent, mastered disease. We have chained that giant machine power to our workroom benches, and the wizard science is our slave. From the group organizations of the old tribal days, we have fought our way onwards to a great civilization. But we have failed in learning the greatest of lessons, love of man. Until we have learned to love and respect our own kind, and to see to it that he is worthy of both, our success is not complete. A good beginning would be to take our boys off the streets. Character is formed largely by environment. Can we expect good citizenship from boys reared in an environment such as this? From the appalling conditions of his home life, the boy seeks to find relief in the streets. He learns the jargon of the streets, and there are always those to see that he also learns the principle of the streets. What I can steal is mine. The unwritten slogan of the underworld is, those not with us are against us. And the easiest way of dealing with a youth who knows too much is to make him one of the boys. It is seldom difficult when the subject is familiar with privation. With his own meager earnings poured down the sink of a drunken father's dissoluteness, a too vivid mental picture of a haggard mother's poverty-stricken misery, and hunger a constant guest at his home, any prospect of a brighter future is eagerly seized upon. Such an untutored mind does not always stop to consider that that same opportunity may also lead to prison bars. In this way, another recruit is added to the already large army of the lawless. Another youngster is due to be branded a criminal. When the alarm is sounded and the law comes into operation, it is usually the inexperienced newcomer who is left to pay the piper. The old hands believe in getting themselves away from the scene of danger as quickly as possible. Bad luck that the boy was caught, but it's all in the game, and each man must look after himself. A term in jail is regarded as a feature of daily life, and often as a worthy hallmark of experience by those who live by their wits and the nimbleness of their fingers. They have had to go through it, why shouldn't we? Useless for this boy to look to his home for help. It would be a small matter to a man like this that his son should go to jail. No sense of responsibility could be instilled into that drink-sodden brain. Nothing matters but drink. Society can do little for this man. His end may be clearly foretold. Death from alcoholic poisoning, from a wound incurred in a drunken brawl, or from accident. Drunken men and reckless drivers. All big cities have their full quota of each. Nobody will miss this man. He didn't matter much, except as a means of bringing criminals to justice. His killers will go to jail. But what of the unfortunate youngster whom circumstances pushed into wrongdoing? Is it right that his punishment should place him amongst such men and lead him to eventually become one of them? Our police realize this, that it is not right, and for this reason they have formed the Police Boys Club, one of the greatest and most humane organizations of its kind in the world. Its benefits, both to the boy as an individual and to society as a body, are inestimable. The club provides the outlet necessary for youthful high spirits. It is free and open to all, and its aim is to keep boys off the streets by providing attractive occupations and entertainment for their leisure hours. That it is highly successful may be seen from the attendance. No boy is forced to join the club. He is merely invited and shown around. A second invitation is never needed. Where is the joy of standing around street corners when one can be training in a perfectly equipped modern gymnasium? Or exhibiting one's prowess in the boxing ring? For we must admit that a little admiration is always acceptable. Even the yells of the smaller fry are not unpleasant to a coming champion's ears. Ambition flourishes at the club. The boys are encouraged in every way and made to feel that each has a chance of lifting himself out of the ruck, a chance of making good. And you may believe it that they are making good. The police are making a great job of this boys' club, and the enterprise will be more fully appreciated when it is learned that both time and effort are given gratis, and the effort does not stop at conducting the club. In every case where it can be possibly arranged, work is found for the boys. And what a great thing it is for these boys to have a job, to be encouraged to do the best they can at that job, and to know that their earnings will help to take the family to a better residential area. The club has gone ahead by leaps and bounds since its inauguration in April 1937, when the first club at Woolloomooloo was opened. £5,000 was donated by the government for the club building and has been run entirely on voluntary donations. Since the inception of the first club, several others have been opened, and it is hoped to eventually establish them in all the large industrial areas. In taking these boys off the streets and teaching them the lesson of self-respect, the Police Boys Club has taken a gigantic step forward and has earned our heartiest cooperation and acclaim. Australia Today.